Okay, last item on the timeline. This is it. This is the very last thing. It's in your DI. It's not in your DI. It's in the test. It's the idea of Simpson's rule. I've given you formula for triangles, rectangles, squares, circles, etc. However, there is a formula that allows you to find the area of any shape, but you have to meet two requirements. So this is the formula. Ignore this right now. That'll freak you out while you're writing it, but when we do it together, it's not too bad. Simpson's rule formula only works if the shape is 1, divided into an even number of sections, and they all have to be the same width. So I need to slice it into an even number of pieces, and they all have to be the same distance across. That's 1. 2, we need to know the length of the lines that divided the shape. So if you're imagining an irregularly shaped cake, every one of those slices, I need to know how long those slices were. All right? So we know the length of the lines used to divide the shape into sections, L0 being the left edge and LN being the right edge. Just get up to here for now so I can talk you through the formula. Because you probably thought I'm going into general maths, I'm getting away from all this algebra business, and then, what the hell? You see, it's not too bad. Yeah? Look at you smiling with your 5070 Ti. You spent almost $1,000 again on not a car. Shh. All right, what is this formula? Let's work it out so that we can do an example and you can be a bit more relaxed about it. The area of anything that has been divided into an even number of sections, the same width W, and if I know all the lengths, L0, Ln, for all the cuts, the approximate area is the width over 3 as a fraction at the front of a set of brackets, and then it's times by, what the hell is going on in here? L0 is the left edge of your shape. It's how long the left edge is. Plus 4 times by the next length. Plus 2 times by the next length. Plus 4 times by the next length. Do you see a pattern there of timesing by 4 and timesing by 2? That alternates. It goes 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2. All right? But if you've divided your shape into an even number of pieces, the second to last one is always going to be timesed by 4. And then the very last length is not timesed by anything. Okay? That's a crazy formula, so I suggest that you have an example of it as well when you do your cheat sheet. But I'll show you on this example here. You don't even need that red. That red is just for me to help explain. L0 is the left edge. The second length is always timesed by 4. You have an alternating times by 2 times by 4 in the middle. If your shape was divided into an even number of pieces, second to last is always timesed by 4. And then the last one is not timesed by anything. Yep. Up or down? Yeah. LO, yeah. LO or L0. What I'll do is I'll zoom out a little bit so you can get draw as close to that weird rock shape as possible. It doesn't need to be exact. What's important is these lines. We know how long those are. Question? Approximate, yeah. So obviously we need a crazy formula for a crazy shape. It can be any shape as long as it's been divided into an even number of slices and we know how long those slices are and we know that the widths are all the same. Look at the shape. How many pieces has it been cut into?
6.
6. Is that an even number of pieces?
Yeah.
So that meets the requirement there. Do I know how wide each piece is? They're all 10. So this will work. This will work, but you want to see how the crazy formula works. So area equals, what is the width of those pieces? How wide are we saying that each piece is? 10. So it's going to be 10 over 3 times by. This is the hard part of filling out the formula. It's the lines, the slices. How long is the left edge?
10.
Does the formula tell you to times the left edge by anything? No? So you just put it in. We've put 10 there. Plus, what do I times the next slice across by? 4 times by?
25.
How long is that second slice? 25. What's the pattern that occurs in the middle of this thing? 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2. So the next one, this 30, I'm going to times it by 2. Plus, what's the next part in the pattern? 4, 2, 4 is going to be times by 38. Next one in the pattern, 36, is going to be times by 2. If your shape was divided up into an even number of pieces, the second to last one is always going to be times by 4. So it's going to be 4 lots of 22. And now you're sitting there freaking out because, Mr. T, you haven't told me how long this is. If those lines come to a point, how long is it going to be? 0. So you don't times the last length by anything. So you've got this set up. I'll give you some time to get that down. I'll draw little arrows to link. That 10 there is this 10. That 25 is this 25. That 30 is this 30.
So can you please scroll up so people at the back can without looking over people's heads, like other way.
This way.
Scroll down.
Shift the
This.
Yeah, they want the formula higher up so they can see it over people's head. The other formula.
This
the-
here.
yeah.
Okay, sorry. You can get it after. It's not ideal. If I had D17, there would be 4 boards in there and everyone can look at the same time. You're a class of how many?
30 something.
30? 30. Used to be 31. I have one screen that can scroll. Okay? I'm doing my best here. That's why I record it. Okay? If you wanted the brutal honest, you could write fast. We went out for 6 weeks. Leave the 10 over 3. That's going to be an approximate. Is there anything stopping me working out what 4 times 25 is? Calculator, 100. 2 times by 30, 60. 4 times by 38, 120. What's that going to be? 120. But then the 4 times by 8 is going to be 32. I think it's going to be 152. I'll just 4 times 38, 152. 2 times 36, 72. I know that off the top of my head. 4 lots of 22, 88, plus nothing at the end. That's too many numbers for me to add in my head, so I'll use the calculator. 10 plus 100 plus 60 plus 152 plus 72 plus 88 is 482. So you've got 10 over 3 times by 482. So now I can work that out. 482 times by 10 over 3. 1606.67 square meters.